Alrighty, guys, we really got to talk about this episode. So, welcome back. We're going to talk about The Flash, Season 8, Episode 20, otherwise entitled Negative Part 2. Oh boy, what an episode. I liked it a lot. I might get into some things I had a little bit of issues with, but overall, I really liked the episode. I thought it was pretty good. It was a good ending to a character. So, yeah, if you don't want it to be spoiled, click off this video now because I will be delving way into this episode. Might get off track with this video because I'm going to start talking a lot about what interests me. So it might be different than my other more like focused versions of it. This I might jump around. I'll have like flashes of images of what I'm talking about going on in the background, pun intended. So yeah, jump into this with me. So our episode starts off immediately where our previous episode ended. Naturally, since it's a part 2, you would assume something like that would happen. And Thawne is being a menace, an absolute menace to Barry, saying like, oh, maybe your wife and mom died for something. And Barry, he's like, how dare you? And he what's his name? He Palpatines that man. He starts force lightning him against the car, or the van, I guess, to be more technical. And it's just like absolutely shredding Thawne with this lightning. And his stupid kids showed up and were like, hey, yo, don't do that. You'll be just as bad as him. And he's like, but he killed your mom. That's something that frustrates me. If Barry didn't let him live, this wouldn't have happened. So this is really Barry's fault. If Barry let him get erased, this wouldn't have happened. Whatever, we'll move on from that. We then switch to everyone in the Cortex at Star Labs talking about what their plan is. Barry kind of wants to recreate the thing that happened back in like season 2 in the episode The Runaway Dinosaur, where Harry gave him his speed back. That's kind of what he wants to do. And Mina offers to help him. And then we jump to I'm blanking. Damien Dark is back. So we get to see Damien and Dark. Damien and Iris meet up, which I thought was pretty cool. They did hype up this reveal of like a mystery character way too much, I think. But I mean, it was still cool to see Damien back. I am blanking on the actor's name, but he did a great job as usual, and it was really nice to see him back in the role. So that was pretty cool. But I mean, they made it seem like it was going to be some massive character. And then we have Cecile confronting Barry on like, oh my god, do you want to kill Thawne? You want revenge? Yeah, no freaking crap. Like, what? Thawne's the reason his wife's dead. Like, yeah, of course he wants to kill him. And then Bashir calls out to Cecile. We'll cover this really quick. We find out later that Cecile leveled up. Well, I'm going to use their wording because of Bashir tying himself to her. And then after this, we jump to Dion having pulled Thawne into the negative speed force. I'm pretty sure it's the negative speed force, but it's one of the negative forces domains. And Dion says something like, oh, it's time for you to, what's it called? Incubate or something. He like snaps his fingers and they all like go into him in a type of way, like with their force powers go into him in a type of way. So Thawne starts like, I'm going to say incubating, but it's probably not the right wording. And then we find out that the negative speed force chose Thawne, not that Thawne created the negative speed force. So it chose him as a host because of his hate for Barry. And then we find out from Dion that the time stone has Iris trapped in it still. So we find out that Iris is actually trapped inside the time stone. Then we'll come back to that later. Barry and the team, mainly his kids, try and go into the negative speed force. They try to tap into it with the help of Mina and her lightning. Barry's pushing himself, trying to get in there as hard as he can. It doesn't work, and Mina gets upset, and she speeds off. And Barry chases after her and finds her about to destroy the machine. Like that big, I forget what they called it, but that big machine that she got her powers from. And he stops her, and they are going to team up together, and she's going to give him her speed like she did with Eobard. I almost called him Thawne, but they keep calling Eobard the good Thawne and Thawne the bad Thawne. So, like she did with Eobard. And then we see Joe. He's really devastated. Finally seeing Joe devastated about this. Like, I feel like we haven't seen this, and it's his daughter. And then Joan and Jay show up, which I thought was pretty freaking cool. It was nice to see them. I mean, I kind of expected them to show up, but it was still cool to see them. And they kind of say, oh, hey, like, we're reading Iris's signature right now in this house. And they go up to the time stone and they find out that she's in the time stone somehow. And while this is going on, a negative force storm is going on outside. It strikes the ground, and then lightning's covering this like black suit creature thing. You can't tell what it is. It slowly works up your body. You kind of realize it's like a speedster suit. And then we see Thawne in his brand new suit, which is cool. Like, it was really cool to see, but it just looks a little weird. I still stand by my statement that the original Reverse Flash suit just looked phenomenal. It just looks so good, but I understand what they did with the one before this one, like the regular yellow one that he had in the beginning of the episode. I understand why they did that because it matches Barry's, but the opposite. I understand that. But this just looks not very good on him. It's still a cool suit. It's still a very cool suit, and I'm not mad. But after this, Thawne just like starts running around the city, just like blasting people left and right. I was like, holy crap, he's just killing everyone, which I don't really think gets talked about very much, but whatever. And Iris then's like, oh, I'm gonna, become powerful. And she summons herself out of the stone. I don't really understand how, because she covers herself in lightning. I don't know if the Speed Force... I think they said in a previous episode, like a while ago, that some Speed Force residue was left over in her. Maybe that's the reason why she was able to do that. Joe's obviously ecstatic because his daughter's back, which was... It was a really cool scene to finally see them together again, and like father-daughter scene. It was really nice. And then we jump back to the fight. We're going... And they're fighting, and they're going at each other, and... Thawne snaps his fingers, sends his kids away. His kids are gone. And then we see Barry getting pissed, chasing after Thawne. He goes to throw lightning at Thawne, but Thawne stops him. He snaps his fingers like Dion's been doing and freezes Barry. So a negative bolt goes to hit Barry, and it's stopped by none other than the positive forces. So they're back. They were saved by Cecile early in the episode. I kind of jumped over that, but I mean... It was very quick. Cecile's scene was basically like just putting on Bashir's mask, which was actually really cool, and giving Bashir the powers that she had at the moment, which gave him the strength to bring everyone back. Then they do like a Power Rangers moment and like all turn into this pure colorful energy, fly into Barry. So now Barry has the power of all of the forces in it. It was cool. Like, I love this. Barry just got super strong. I tried to get some good shots of this fight. I couldn't, so I just didn't include them. It was so blurry and so bad. But the fight was really cool. Barry was pretty much slamming Thawne around. It was good. It was good. It was really good. I liked seeing that. I liked seeing them fight. Barry's like, I'm going to kill you. And Iris is like, no, Barry. And runs and hugs Barry. And it was really sweet. It was good to see them hugging and being back together. Again, reiterating it was good to see, but it's good to see everyone being happy again and seeing them together. And then I don't understand this. It was cool because Barry didn't have to throw a punch, but he just sat down and started meditating, which was really funny to me. So while Barry's meditating, Thawne starts like pulsating out this energy and destroying the city. Barry then reverses that back into Thawne. This is what, from my understanding of what happened, I'm pretty sure he just reversed that energy right back into Thawne, and it was just too much for him to handle. This is the best picture I could really get. He kind of just turns into nothingness. So it like engulfs Thawne and just consumes him, and he disappears. So we're pretty much left to assume that he's dead. Later on, towards the very end, they say there's no traces of Thawne anywhere in the timeline, so I'm pretty sure this is it for Thawne. I mean, if it is, alright, it's an alright ending. Like, okay, I'm not going to complain. Barry snaps his fingers and brings his kids back from when Thawne had snapped them earlier and sent them like 1 billion years, I think he said, or millions of years into the past. So everyone's reunited, everyone's happy, like they just defeated the big bad, and everyone's celebrating, woo, yeah, we did it. And we cut to Iris. Well, we do like a quick talk and like, yeah, woo, we did it kind of speech, so it wasn't really important. Then we cut to Iris with what's her name? Tinya Waze, I think is her name, and her mom. They meet. Barry runs her mom there as the Flash, not as himself, and they meet again. They talk, and it's really nice. It's a really sweet moment. And then Barry and Iris do a little fist bump, like, yeah, woo, we did it. We made this girl happy. It was really sweet to see them again. It's just really sweet to see them back together again, because I mean, it's Barry and Iris. I mean, the show is about the Flash, but their relationship does make the show a lot. Like, it's in his character. He loves her. And then we finally get to see what happened with Killer Frost from last episode. Sorry. Caitlin from last episode. I think this is Killer Frost. I think this is her birth. That's what I think's happening. Because she's like, I don't know. I'm a friend, I think, is what she says. And then it cuts away. So we're obviously going to see that in season 9. I think she's Killer Frost. Then we cut to Barry and Iris chilling, laughing, having a great time, chilling on the sofa, talking about, oh, there's going to be another person being taken over by the negative speed force since Thawne's gone. And Barry's like, yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get there together. We finally have each other again. We'll do this together. And then it cuts to 2049, I'm pretty sure is what it was. And we start zooming in on this piece of blue. I don't know what this metal is, or if it's even a metal. But it is blue, and we have all been asking for cobalt blue, so I'm going to say that is cobalt. That is what that metal is. It is cobalt. I don't care what anyone says. That is cobalt metal. Cobalt blue is coming next season. You heard it here. I think that's what's going to happen. I could be wrong, but I think that's what's going to happen. I think cobalt blue is going to show up, and it better be played by Rick Cosnett, also known as Eddie Thawne. That would be amazing. I would love it. It would also tie into Thawne's. Maybe the negative speed force has a thing for Thawne's, so that would be amazing. But yeah, overall, I'm just going to let the pictures play again if you guys want to see them while I'm talking for another minute or two. But overall, I enjoyed this episode. The only thing I really had some downsides on was, I guess, mainly the Cecile scenes, just because, I don't know, they took away from Barry and Thawne, and I'm just a sucker for their battle between each other. I just like seeing it. Another thing is, I get that Barry's a good guy. Okay, I do. And the fact that he was defeated in the end is good. If he's actually dead, like, that's good. But all of this simply stemmed from Barry just not letting him die. Had Barry not let him die, Iris wouldn't have died. Thawne wouldn't have killed all those people he killed on the street because Barry didn't erase those deaths. So there's probably like 15, 20 people dead right now because Barry didn't let Thawne die in the first place. And then whoever the negative speed force chooses now, I guess actually never mind, because even if he had let him die, the negative speed force would have chose someone else anyways. But it still would have prolonged all these other people's lives, or even just saved their lives altogether, if Barry just let Thawne die. But whatever, it didn't happen, and we got this instead, which is fine. It's just, again, it's a trope in all superheroes. I mean, Batman should kill Joker. I think we all can agree on that. Just not killing him leads to more people dying. So out of anything, the heroes are the bad guys in this situation because you just won't kill them. Or we could just say the justice system is the bad guy because, I mean, you kill like 2 people here and you get the death sentence. The Joker kills like thousands of people and gets a slap on the nuts and thrown in jail for like a week. But that's comic book universe. I mean, you can't really, it's not real life. But yeah, it was good to see Damien Dark. I'll reiterate since he's back on the screen. It was good to see him again. It was good. I just think that, what's her name? It's Danielle Nicolette. She went on an interview and said that, oh my God, this is such a big cameo. Like, holy crap, I'm so excited for you guys to see this. You're not expecting this. They just made it out to be something really huge, and it wasn't. So I can understand people being bummed out by it. But, I mean, it's neither here nor there. It's all right. It's fine. I'm not disappointed in who we got. I just was expecting something more. I think that they tied the ending together pretty nice with a bow and set up things the best I don't even want to say the best they could. That makes it sound bad, but I think they did it in a phenomenal way. If the show, because I know this was supposed to be a series finale until it got announced that it was renewed, so they quickly wrote in a new ending, which was pretty nice. But I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm really excited to see where season 9 goes. I don't want to wait for it, but we have to. We got to wait I think it's coming out in 2023 and probably towards the beginning of the year. So it'll probably start around when this season started or a little bit after that. But we'll have to wait until then. I'll probably do a video on my overall thoughts on the entire season, but we'll see. I'm going to It'll be out in like a week on Netflix. I'll rewatch it and see if I can do a good enough video on talking about it, and we'll go from there and see if I post that. But anyways, thank you guys for stopping by. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, tell me what you thought. If you didn't, tell me what you thought. But yeah, I hope you guys have a nice day or night whenever you see this, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.